As long as my schedule continues to be like it is this week, I should be good.
Woo!
Okay.
All right, we are back for the next episode, Defense of Malahaut. This is session 5 now, guys, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
No,
All right.
session 4, episode 5.
Right. That's fair. All right, so last episode we were in the county of Rydychan.
Yep.
You had encountered some people. Do you want to maybe do a recap for yourselves, and I can fill in the blanks?
We had recruited some shadier characters, and had decided that when we were moving towards our next county to recruit in, that we were going to just make straight for the castle and see about asking if any of the defenders of that castle would be willing to lend their aid to our cause. And when we arrived, the lord of the castle, this gentleman right here, basically said, "Hey, what you doing? Oh, that's a noble purpose, but you're still under arrest because you're traveling with bandits. Arrest them."
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good summary, actually. Anyone got anything else they want to add to that?
I believe the guy's name was Sir Gwithier,
Yeah.
Baron of Oxford. Yeah.
You got it.
All right.
The weather was pretty nice.
Right? That's what I took away.
Paris, we're stabling all the
We realized that Forest is superior in every single possible way, with the exception of appearance and appeal to Sir Barunius. So I now have a bar to hit.
Was that true? I'll agree to not have an opinion on that.
As Forrest's character literally has at least one or more skill ranks over every skill rank Barunius has.
It's specific stuff.
Yes, but it's all the specific stuff I built for my character too.
One rank isn't so bad. You're good. It's Pendragon.
It's an extra 5% chance.
Yeah, that's about it. I wouldn't bet my life on 5%. All right, let's dive in. So do you all remember who you're traveling with? Who, aside from Lady Gwen?
Yeah, it's Lady Gwen, this new guy called Cerberus. It's their name should be there. It's like Angor, Idris, and Turfo are the three dudes that we came. Yeah. And then my new our new pocket priest, Brother Lone.
Oh, brother, yeah, Ione, right?
Ione.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ione. Why is that
the Ione stones from D&D?
I must have accidentally hit L instead of I. Okay. Brother Ione, and then I think, and then like our own entourage that we had. Yeah. And I believe that was it.
Yeah, you got it. Sounds accurate to me. All right. I'm just getting some icons on here. We kind of left with a little bit of a cliffhanger, if you recall from the last one.
Yep.
So let's dive in and figure that out now. One sec. It's getting Brother Ione's sheet ready. Okay.
Oh, also, side note, character development wise, I did get to practice swordsmanship. So there's that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, with Sir Argon.
Yep. And when presented with the beauty that is his wife, I was more along the lines of, "Oh, hey, you're also pretty. Congratulations. We should make a club. By the way, sir." Like that is about as enthralled as I got. Hey, we should make a club of pretty people who all know what it's like to be ogled and objectified. Anywho, my friend needs like a confidence boost. He is a tremendous swordsman, and you were one of the best here. And I was wondering if you'd like to help him train a little bit, maybe regain some of that confidence he's lost recently.
It's one of those things of where you've where like people hit points in their training to where they find it hard to see an improvement.
Yeah. And I basically just wanted to help you see improvement and things like that.
It's fair.
You know, I'm looking after my family.
All right. So as we dive into tonight, he had just called for his guards to surround you, and they have done so. Given that, what would y'all like to do?
How many of them are there?
There is... One sec. You kind of knew this, so I'm going to do... There are 5 guards.
It's one for each of us. Oh, wait, we have 6 people.
No. We don't fight our way out.
Barris was at the stable, stabling all the horses and stuff.
Okay, so yeah, it's 5 on 5. Well, 5 on 6 technically, I guess. If the leader joins in.
Sir Uther is an honorable man. We're not going to sit there and fight our way out of this. As knight.
Oh, I don't necessarily want to. I might have to, depending on what the hell's up with this guy.
There's a difference between being forced to fight our way out and... Yeah. So. Sir.
Oh.
We are not bandit. I've told you our situation. We are recruiting able-bodied men who wish to fight Saxons to help protect our homeland. If you have issue with one of our number, call them out, lay charges before them, and let there be a trial.
He grits his teeth. Very well, Sir Knight. I do lay charges against Sir Turfel here and his other bandits, Angor and Idris.
Okay. Fair enough. Let us bring Sir Turfel before you, so that he may have his say, and then we shall get to the matter of the trial, whether he chooses trial by combat or some other means. Would that work for you, or do you have another idea?
I'm more inclined to let you all carry on, and I will deal with them.
They are trained soldiers and sergeants. We do need the manpower in Malahaut. I feel it might be in our best interest to at least stay. And maybe in the meantime, we might be able to convince you to allow volunteers of your own soldiers and men follow us as well.
He shakes his head. Are you that desperate up north to recruit bandits?
We are not, but I do not believe that you are trying to deceive us or lying when you lay these accusations down. Unfortunately, from the time I spent with them and how we came across them, they have not been involved in banditry, nor have I heard any talk of banditry that they could possibly be involved in. And we have run into bandits traveling through these lands. So I must, on my duty and honor as a knight, at the very least, see that they are treated fairly and to see if this might be a mistake on some party's side.
Remind me, who do you guys have with you right now? Who did you bring into the room? I know Isforus and Brunius are here. Who's with you?
There's Lady Gwen.
Lady Gwen.
And I believe the priest, just because.
The priest. I believe it was us 4.
Okay.
Yeah, because we weren't like trying to hide anybody, and it just seemed like a good thing to be like, hey, we're here. And just kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe the rest of them were with Varys, stabling all the horses and everything.
Yes.
Okay. Very well then. If you wish to watch the trial, you may. So with that, do you guys want to do anything here? If not, I think he's going to gather the others.
So essentially my plan is to basically watch. As Forrest is right, we shouldn't say that we are desperate, but the fact that mainlander Saxons are supplementing the Saxons already there, yeah, I'd rather keep these guys alive and under our control while recruiting more than to sit there and watch them die.
During this time, his force is going to try to find out more info about the supposed banditry that they're accused of doing, to see like what he can just gather from what people know here.
Okay, and like what kind of approach would you use? Like who are you going to find out more? Like Isforus has spent a lot of time beneath the salt, quote unquote. Yeah.
So he's gotten used to talking to a lot of the people who actually know more than people think about, which is the servant staff and others like that. Basically, the invisible ears and eyes of the place.
Gotcha.
And he's trying to essentially go through them and be like, hey, so like, he's essentially doing the meme of "Hello, fellow kids," but it's but a bit more tactful than that. It's essentially trying to see like what problems they've been having in the county, and like if there's there've been any bounties or like specifically names of people that might have become famous of banditry. Essentially, he's trying to see if it's either there's just a description of people who are bandits, or if they're like, yeah, specifically this dude was standing atop a carriage with essentially a guitar in hand yelling, I did banditry, I'm a bandit. It's just, he's trying to see if it's possible that this is incorrect and they're just, they're soon to be bandits because they don't have the best gear, or if it's actually correct and these guys were identified specifically doing something. Because if they're people who've done something terrible, Isforus isn't necessarily going to stick up for them, but if there's like some like murkiness and nobody's sure, he's going to stick up for them because they've pledged themselves to his cause. So they haven't necessarily done anything seen as a negative while we've been around.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Okay, why don't you test me intrigue, please?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I feel like I've gotten all the 20s out of my system. Would I be able to use honor for this?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, cool. Okay, I did in 20, so I'm okay. I'm really glad about that. Even though I didn't succeed. And I didn't succeed.
Okay.
Still rolling pretty high, though.
That's because your roll 20 wants you to be playing Pathfinder and D&D.
Yep.
I guess it makes sense. I'm like, people are different here in this land. It's just another.
Yeah, they're a little bit more close to the. You know what I'm gonna say? Give me a suspicious test, please. Okay.
You're not even suspicious.
Yeah. I think they're quiet, and you're just like, oh, it's probably because I'm from another land. Okay, let's go over to let's check in real quick with Brunius. What are your intentions here? Like, what are your direct actions? I'm less concerned with what you're after and more concerned with what you're doing to achieve it, if that makes any sense. Like, I think I have a good sense of what you're aiming to do in the long run with this scenario. I'm less clear on like what your next 20 minutes is going to be.
Basically, I am talking to Sir Gwenther about. I'm trying to convince him that maybe a good punishment would be to leave them within our leave them, if they are guilty, that we will carry out their punishment as we were the ones fooled by them.
Okay. Give me, because you guys just rode through Rydychan, right?
Rydychan, we tried recruiting as best we could in Rydychan.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, give me a quick. We'll go with, I think, intrigue in this case as well.
Okay. I failed.
Okay.
Like, I am not the talker.
1 sec.
That would be S4S.
Wait, so he says, interesting. Yeah. So I'm to what? Pack them away with you up north? Let them fight and die as heroes? Did Sir Arwell put you up to this?
Who is Sir Arvel?
Right. He is highly suspicious of you now.
Well, I'm not from Logris, so that makes sense.
I'll give you both a chance to test recognize because you were in Rydychan recently.
All right.
You can do the same.
Don't worry. I'll fail. Oh, I succeeded. I rolled a 1.
As far as you can test as well.
Except you are muted, so. Maybe he stepped away?
Could have. That's okay. We'll get back to him in a second. So you recognize Sir Arwell. It was one of you remember the name while you were in Rydychan. They mentioned maybe speaking to the household knights there. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback from somewhere. It's coming back through my mic. All right, there we go. They mentioned perhaps speaking to Sir Arwell, but you couldn't find him.
I couldn't find him, so.
Yeah, back in Rydychan. But the name stands out. You recognize, you're like, who's Sir Arwell? And then as you think about it, and Sir Gwythyr, the Baron, gets noticeably less trusting of you and your cause, you recognize the name.
I mean, I've already spoken and said what I was going to say, so
okay.
I'm not going to... No, I'm just going to leave it at that, because we didn't talk to him. We couldn't find him.
Right.
So.
Okay. So with that, we're going to go over to our guest here and talk a little bit to Varys. So Varys, where is Varys at right now?
Since we haven't really been brought together again, he is hanging out near the stables, watching the new recruits, essentially, as they get all the horses and any other type of piece of burden stuff we have around put away.
They seem to be laughing, having a good time together. Give me an awareness test.
Oh, this should be fun.
You hear marching. You would imagine that some sort of like the garrison or like the guards coming your way. They seem to be coming right for the stable.
Look alive. Seems we have company approaching. A welcoming committee, perhaps.
Yeah.
By welcoming committee, I mean guards.
At this point, the guards do enter, along with one knight that stands at the front of them all.
Okay.
And the knight speaks up and says, Sir Treffle, you and your men are under arrest. With that, the guards move with their poleaxes out to surround all of you.
Sir Varys holds his hand out a minute, trying to just buy a moment.
Okay.
As he speaks up. There's no need for that. What are the accusations?
Theft, banditry, raiding, and murder.
Okay, and so as the guard is, or the knight is listing all that, Varys is actually kind of trying to judge the response from the men, the recruits.
Okay, give me an, that's going to be intrigue for that one too.
Okay. Failed.
Okay.
All right.
They look a bit like caught off guard. And then Sir Truffle says, "We've done no such thing. How dare your lord accuse us of such?" And the household knight says, "Be done with that nonsense. Are you to come peacefully, or must we take you by force?" Do you want to intervene at all with this? It looks like you're caught up in this whether you want to be or not, Varys.
Right. Varys is going to kind of make a play of try to get them to agree to their trial and stuff, which, because that's their right.
Mm-hmm.
So, let us go, men. We'll have time for your rightful trials. And we'll see if such things can be swayed.
Give me a just test. I want to see how well this sells for them.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, you can see Sir Truffle especially looks very offended and ready to fight. But when you say that, he looks at you and goes, "Fine then." And with that, we'll bring everyone back together as Varys, Truffle, Idris, and Angor are brought in before the Baron, Uther. And in the room already is Ione, Gwen, and of course Brunius and Miss Force. And I'll let you guys lead the next bit if you guys want to interact at all. Or maybe let's do a quick round and confirm what the three of you are doing. Start like left to right, so as far as Brunius, Drax. Or, sorry, as far as Brunius, Varys. Yeah.
I'm just waiting to see how the proceedings go.
Mm-hmm.
And just making sure that this it's as fair as possible, and like to see, because if they have would be considered concrete evidence of this, then like there's nothing we can do. But if he sees that where there's some wiggle room, he'll try to step in. Other than that, he's gonna just watch the proceedings.
Okay.
Brunius is approaching Varys and Sir Turfel and explaining.
I don't think you're gonna have access to Turfel because he's one of the accused.
Okay, then I am trying to keep an eye on things. Talking to Varys to see what everybody's reaction was when the charges were laid bare. I guess is the best thing I can say I'm doing. But I'm in motion.
Okay, why don't you know what might be interesting? I'm gonna back this up a second. I do like this to have some player interaction. So I'm gonna say that the three of you are waiting for the trial to sort of be taken. They quickly realize that Sir Varys is not part of their entourage; he's part of yours. So he gets dismissed, and the three of you are left like waiting for the proceedings to begin. We'll let the three of you roleplay for a second. I'm gonna go get a coffee from the other room, and I can still hear you, but I'd like the three of you to have a chance to chat before we dive into.
Sounds good.
Okay, this is interesting.
What sort of mess is happening here?
I wasn't there when the charges were laid upon Sir Turfel and the others. What was the reaction?
Sir Turfel seemed quite offended, but judging by the household knight's response, it seemed like they possibly could have some sort of feud going between them. Maybe. I could be misreading it. I'm not very good with reading people, but it was just something that they said. Seemed to almost as if the household knight was perhaps thinking it was an act by Sir Turfel. I didn't see such things myself.
Okay. Well, as far as among the three of us, you are the lawyer.
Hmm. Well, each place has its own laws, so we'll have to see how the proceedings go.
All I can do is work off of your lead.
I would not be surprised if there's more than one trial by combat out of this. Sir Turfel seemed quite ready to do so when the guards approached. So I managed
He does
to...
have the right to a trial of his choosing, whether he chooses trial by combat.
Of course.
Or any other type of trial.
I'm curious to see what comes of this in any case. We really can't afford to be losing what volunteers we have already.
That's one of the reasons I want to stick around.
I think the reason we should stick around is because, as far as they've shown us, there's been no underhandedness or banditry. Of course, they aren't geared in the best possible way, but they have shown willingness to adapt and join our cause, even if we don't necessarily have, even if they have not specifically been paid. So I believe that it's worth it to at least stand beside them while they go through this, and see if it's honestly them that are being charged justly, or if it's a mistake in things. Because there have been plenty of times where someone is accused of something that they did not do, and hopefully this is simply a mistake on that part and not something that they actually did, or something that their leader wants them to have done.
That's a fair point. Up until this little incident here that we had, their spirits have been rather high.
Sorry, what was the name of the lord here? I'm terrible with names.
It's Sir Uther, Baron of Oxford.
Yeah, just hopefully he's not. This isn't one of those. Oh, I don't like that guy. I'm gonna just accuse him of banditry so I can kill him.
Well, there is that.
It's more common than what I'd like to think, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do say might makes right.
Yes, it does.
It's a true statement.
Right gives might.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So with that, the household knight comes out and says, "We're ready for the proceedings now."
And away we go.
Yeah.
Where's
there's
Lady
just
Gwen
not
during
fun.
all this?
She's probably staying awfully close to the two of you. But she is being treated with better courtesies.
Right.
Like that was the next big thing I wanted to make sure of. Like, there is our mission, and then there is Lady Gwen needs to be protected. So
Fair. That's fair. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so sorry, I was getting randomly pulled into trying to make this happen.
uh-oh.
There. It's trying to give us some faces here. Make things a little
Mission
easier. Yeah. Okay, so as you're brought in now, we have Lady Gwen and Brother Ione are gonna come with you. And the two sergeants and the mercenary knight who stand accused. All three of them look pretty nervous. Sir Gwythyr says, Sir Treffle, Argan, and GM's forgetting the last guy's name. Idris and Argan. Idris and Angor, sorry. The three of you stand...
Argan? Really?
No. Idris and Angor, the three of you stand accused of crimes against this county and the King of Logres. You stand accused of banditry, of mischief, and murder. Sir Treffle says, Sir Knight Baron, where does any of this come, and where do you have the right? He says, I have the right as the Baron of this land. The land you ride through, mercenary. It's going downhill real quick. He says, but under God's eyes, I would like to offer you a fair trial. You may stand forth and be honest, or face the wrath of the outcome.
Are we allowed to talk during these proceedings? Or speak up?
It would be a minor faux pas, but also you might feel compelled to if your justice or honor is high enough.
I mean, I've got a just of 16.
You're famous for it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Because, like, I guess these forces will wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like, the guy still hasn't said what acts of banditry they've done, and specifically who got murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to stand up and ask these questions. But I want to do so in a respectful tone, because this is the land he is lord over. He has the right to lay these charges down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So
it might be more courtesy than intrigue, but I can definitely see this being an intrigue role.
okay. Well, what are you aiming? Like, I just need exact clarity on what you're aiming to do.
I'm trying to find out, where these charges are coming. Who, what, and where has been raided or murdered. Like I said, I'm trying to find out the who, what, and when of the situation.
When you say you're trying to find out, how are you going about that?
I'm standing and asking because
Okay.
I am all about fair rule, and
that is
so
likely a courtesy role.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more a matter of etiquette than trying to gossip or something like that, right?
Yeah. I'm not necessarily passionate about this, though. And that's the problem. Although I succeed.
There you go. Tick it if you don't have it ticked. Okay. So go ahead and state your case, and I will respond in turn.
Sir, Lord Baron, can you help me to understand when said banditry took place, the murders, the time? Who was it that was murdered? What lands and holdings were raided and pillaged? I mean, it's all well and good within your purview to lay down these accusations, but without knowing the specifics of anything,
it was my knight, Sir Aaron Aprés.
Sir Aaron was murdered?
He was. In the road between Rydychan and here.
Okay.
Mere days after these knights rode south earlier this spring. That was the GM trying to do the mental math on when would February be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Sir Turfil, have you encountered Sir Aaron before?
Not that I recall.
Varys is totally trying to just make sure no one's bullshitting about any of this.
Like, I've already proven trusting of him once.
What's that?
I'm at this point, I'm just talking to myself, saying I've already trusted him once. Do I continue to allow that trust to go on, or am I suspicious that he might be lying?
Trusting versus suspicious then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Varys is naturally suspicious, so.
Well,
that answers your question.
I trust him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you say trust him, who are you talking about? Treffel?
Turfil.
Yeah. So Treffel.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Varys is kind of the opposite. He's being suspicious of it. So he's kind of looking for anything he can.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Gwythyr, if as all of us are honorable knights, could it not be possible that Sir Aaron was waylaid by some cad, and Sir Truffle had nothing to do with it? Sir Turfell had nothing to do with it?
No, it was a spear wound. Coming from a point of a high place, another mounted warrior. This much I can tell. Examined it myself.
I see.
Cool. So, would that be suspicious or intrigue?
You can test intrigue if you want.
Okay.
All
So
you can, actually, at this point.
Because, like, I don't doubt that they had it, like, inspected, but, like, personally, like, I know we all did first aid as squires, but, like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
I think all that means for the failures, for those who did fail, I think that what you get is you're like, exactly what you said, Bernie. It's like, oh, or Esferus, sorry. You're like, oh, okay, right, yeah. You personally, examined it, okay, like, and I think for Bernius, because you just passed trusting, you're like, I think you're both along the same lines. That this sounds like a bit like a hit job. Like they got him lined up. They want to get Truffle accused and hanged for some reason, right? Like they got something out against him. I think for Varys's past, what you're starting to pick up is that there seems to be something bigger going on here. Like Uther seems to definitely be going after
something.
Something.
Like there's some history or something going on.
Yeah. Which is weird because, I mean, just to point out, like, you guys are all on the map in Roll20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've confirmed that Sir Truffle is from Estergales, right?
Right.
Yes.
And we've confirmed that Idris and Angor are from the Saxon Shore, respectively. One from Caroline, one from Caircolin. So for them to have any history with someone in Rydychan seems kind of weird. Like,
Right.
They don't have any obvious relations in the area, or at least like they don't have none of them claim to be from here. None of them claim to be like a part of this land, or they kind of made it sound like they were just visiting, right?
Right.
But they're also being accused to have rode through earlier this year. They did not deny that part, and that's what I'll leave you with for now, and we'll let you go from there.
Also, just a side note, just to keep in mind, he did call them mercenaries, like straight up. So
he did.
He seems to be aware of some of them to that level. So that's also odd.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything anyone wants to do, or should I continue with the NPCs, like with you and folks?
Varys is content to let it go for now. He's kind of trying to put the pieces together still. But yeah, he's definitely feeling like there's a bigger motive behind all this.
His force is going to wait a little bit more.
Berenius can't help but try to speak on Terfal's behalf, despite being so terrible at it. Because this just isn't just as it stands right now.
Okay.
But yeah. He has asked his questions, and it appears Gwythier has answered them, and Fair enough. Thank you for indulging my curiosity, sir.
I'll just simply nod. And then Gwythyr continues. Sir Knight, you and your sergeants here stand accused of bringing about a general terror in this land, one that I cannot tolerate. Have you any alibi or reason why you did not kill Sir Aaron, whose body was found mere days after you rode south? And all Shuffle says in protest is, that doesn't mean we murdered him. If we rode south days before he was found, that could be anyone. Sir Gwythyr says, but few knights rode through on this forest path in that meantime.
I guess at this point, his force would speak up and say, was there a witness saying that a knight killed him?
With that, Gwythyr looks over to the household knight, the one that you heard speak up, Varys, the one that led the guards.
Right.
And he says, Sir Amir here, he saw it. He came from a distance. He saw the blood on Sir Triffle's spear. And Triffle just raises a brow like, are you serious? Sir Amir steps forward. I did. When I found the body, after returning it, I rode south to Rydychan, where I came upon these three. I looked for any signs, any at all. Who was behind the death of a dear friend? And this was the best I could come to. Blood on a spear from a mercenary knight.
Okay. They've been traveling with us for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
How... Because this is something that our characters would probably notice more than players. How like, because they don't have the best gear, but how well do they maintain it?
They're not the best, like, I kind of describe them as being, they seem like competent skill-wise, but they seem a little ragtag otherwise. Like, they're it's clear they've spent time doing, like, raiding and things like that. A whole lot less time in, like, formal military structure. So they wouldn't be good on a march. They wouldn't keep equipment as well as most, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. But like, their equipment wasn't like, because you like leaving blood on your weapon can actually cause
damage,
negative effects. So do they have a habit of doing something like that? Because they're saying that days after this murder, he still had blood on his spear.
Yeah.
Right.
It would probably be a stretch to say that they had that. Like they seem a bit better put together than that, right? So, yeah.
Okay. Also, just moments ago, Sir Gwythyr specifically said that he knew it was a knight because the wounds were caused from a mounted figure towards Sir Aaron, and yet now he's saying that his sergeant witnessed.
No, he's saying that his household knight witnessed it.
Or his household knight witnessed it.
Yeah.
Say he witnessed the blood. To clarify, he continued, they witnessed the blood on the spear. So again, no, they didn't witness an actual act.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is like my Lord Baron, I have traveled with these men for a while now, and they are more put together than that. They don't leave their weapons to be damaged by rust from blood after days of traveling.
Do you call Sir Emir a liar then?
I would call him mistaken, but not a liar. Perhaps they were hunting.
Of course we were hunting. Where else are we to get food?
I would say that he was mistaken in his identification. However, if he wishes to refute my claim, that is his right.
Sir Emir says, "My lord, are we going to listen to these foreign knights from the north? We have with us here the bandits that caused your knight's death."
My lord, I think he is correct, but it is not the Sir Terfel and his sergeants that caused your knight's death. I believe the perpetrator is much closer to home.
With that, Uther turns to you and says, "Go on."
And this is where Barunius's honor, his fervent fame of just comes in. He's going to lay out that the men he has been traveling with have no reason to waylay a knight. But he asks what has the relationship between your household knight and Sir Aaron been like? He asks, he starts passionately questioning this household knight. I forget his name. But he starts passionately questioning him about how he could have ridden down somebody several days after finding your lord's friend murdered in the road and missed the killers, mistaking them for the hunters as they were coming back to gather food, unless you yourself might have been involved.
Right. One sec. Sorry.
Oh no, I did something wrong. What have I done?
Yeah, you're basically getting the same point I was.
But,
also, I think you're being a little quick to immediately be like, I think that guy did it.
Yeah.
I might be a little quick.
You're letting your passions go, which is good.
But I am letting my passions go.
Right. No, that's good, because my character isn't that passionate about that stuff, so he's trying to be more level-headed about it. But he is famous.
I am famously just. So I was trying to keep my passions under control, but everything just isn't lining up.
No.
And that is getting frustrating for him. And so he has offered these men, he has recruited these men for a task. These men have been nothing but honorable in service since he recruited them.
Yeah. And
he
also,
has no reason to suspect them. He is listened to both sides and has been trusting of Sir Turfel the entire time.
The whole situation's
there's also another piece of information my character would like to know is, okay, cool. So you're saying he was attacked by these guys who are suspected of banditry. Okay, so what happened to his horse, his weapons, his armor, and any other valuables he might have on him? Because if all that stuff was still there, that's less of a bandit attack and more of a somebody had a personal problem with him. Or it's possible, however slim, that somebody was honestly going out to hunt someone and just hit him and didn't mean to.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible it was an accident, very slim, but possible.
Yeah.
And it could be something, if it's a personal, like at least as far as I'm aware of this setting, when it comes to personal, like to attack him, if he just was like, we did a personal duel and they fought and one of them died, I think you could get away with that. But this seems more like somebody just it was either an accidental killing, they didn't mean to kill him, or somebody was doing something underhanded.
Yeah. And you are completely right. But if a knight was being attacked to be murdered, he would have fought back. Did you notice any defensive wounds?
Well, we need to see him, unfortunately. And to be honest, like in this setting, sometimes it just goes down like that. Because that's also something funny I find. So for some people, when they play Dungeons and Dragons, it's funny when they go because they're the quote unquote main characters and they're used to fighting and doing all this stuff. And then when a normal person comes by and gets one shot, they're like, "Oh my god, what? He just died?" He's like, "Yeah, he's a normal person."
Yeah.
Most people only have like 5 HP.
Right. You hit him.
Well, that would be most people. Knights are not the average person.
No.
Oh yeah, I know that.
That's a common misconception that people have when they play different systems, though.
Yeah. It's like he could have just been like, and even in this system, if we it also depends on if he was in his armor or not.
Yeah.
Because like if somebody got to him when he wasn't paying attention or whatever, he could just be gone.
That's the thing too, is they mentioned that he was stabbed with a spear from on high, right?
Yeah.
So that means he was. That means he was either dismounted and got hit, or he wasn't expecting anything and got ran down that way.
Yeah. So
he wasn't even on his horse.
Yeah.
So that's
another question. Why wasn't he on a horse?
Yeah. Or maybe he got knocked off his horse.
Yeah.
or
fell off his horse. As they said, he was hunting. There's lots of variables at play.
Aaron was traveling.
It would be really unfortunate if he happened to fall off his horse and land on a spear or something.
Yeah, where was the wound? Was it from the front or the back?
Yeah, it's just some things are not necessarily like I'm going to believe what the certain things that he's telling us, but at the same time, like it's how do you 100% know who this guy is? Yeah, because we didn't even get to the introductions really before you saw like because we were just like, we are these people and then we have people with us. I don't think we specifically mentioned their names. And then he was like, "Oh, you're running with bandits. I know exactly who those guys are." And I'm just like, it's kind of weird.
Just a bit.
And the one check that I rolled, shows that there's some overarching issue going on here too. So
to be honest, it comes across that either the Lord of the Baron either one of his guys killed him and he's trying to fucking cover it up so he doesn't get blamed, or he wanted him killed and he's trying to cover up so people won't ask too much questions.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. But my just has been triggered off of just
the justice warrior inside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and my honor is gonna pop up for passion, and I'm gonna lay this at his household knight's feet, saying he's the one who did it.
That's more straightforward than what I would be, but that's because that's Varys. He's not. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as is going, he's not trying to accuse anybody in the Lord's thing because he figures the guy's most likely going to be with the links they're going right now. He assumes this guy's going to try to cover it up anyway, so he's just going to be like, okay, you don't have as far as his force is concerned, he's just going to step and be like, you don't actually have enough evidence to actually say it was these guys. You're just blaming the first person that he found. Right. There's no evidence that these guys did it. But he, at the same time, he's not going to be like, oh, I think you murdered the guy. Yeah. Even though that's what he thinks, he's not going to do that. He's just like, you got the wrong person. Yeah. Try again next time, and then keep it moving.
But Brunius is not that clever.
That's fair. I mean, that's the way the character is, yeah. So if you have a 16 in something, that makes you famous for that?
Yeah, you're pretty well known for it.
Oh, wow. I am famously vengeful then.
Yeah, those are the traits.
Reckless.
Yes, in battle specifically as well.
Famously vengeful and valorous. That's weird.
Yeah. If what's your best weapon skill?
Who's mine?
Yeah.
Mine are only 15.
Oh, all of them?
My spear expertise is 15 and dagger's 15. My sword's only 10. Horsemanship's 15, which is actually higher than that because I got a saddle that gives me a bonus to that.
Oh, cool. I don't think we got any items.
We only know that we've got chainmail and shields and basic gear.
I got it from some creation roll or something, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. I also have silverware. I have a dinner set.
Yeah. Well, you get to eat all fancy then.
It's not enough for
it's mostly for poison. It's mostly for poison.
Well, that's okay. As long as you don't get caught.
Yeah. No, silverware was used to detect poison.
Oh,
so he doesn't get poison. I'm famous for the sword, of course, and battle specifically. Battle, but I'm reckless in battle. I'm recklessly famous.
I am famously just
have people with daggers before.
Mm-hmm.
I famously hate Saxons.
Oh yeah, me too.
I am famously a battlefield commander, famous for my horsemanship, famous for my spear expertise.
You're just an all-around famous guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my appearance is 17 because I took a sword slash to the face.
Yeah.
And that only dropped me 1.
You know what's weird is I made a character before and he had a very low hate Saxons, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't hate Saxons at all.
Right.
Some people hate Picts.
My passions rolled pretty good during creation, so I'm pretty happy with that. So it's fun.
Having now built a character, I should have put more points into regular skills.
Yeah.
Than what I did for my combat skills.
Oh, you're talking like courtesy and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about middling on that. My courtesy is actually pretty high. But,
I didn't know intrigue was going to be so important.
I think I started mine off at like 10. Yeah.
I started mine off at 3, and luckily it's increased.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I did. I sacrificed some of my skills to spread out and get some of my more courtly skills, even though my dude is just kind of a wandering knight type deal.
Yeah.
Because, having good courtesy can get you jobs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of important.
I basically just anything that could be used to identify other knights and be useful in a fight, I put that at 10 or higher. Everything else, nah, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Oh no! So.
Returned.
Oh my god, you're back again. Yeah.
Okay, Shady.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I am good to go again. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
It's cool. As long as it wasn't the FBI.
Nope.
I mean,
FBI,
if it was, that might be my fault, but
Right.
So.
Yeah, getting swatted, right? No.
So, GM, we're here to enact our plan of Scorched Earth. Varys said he completed putting those fire bombs everywhere around the castle.
Perfect.
So when we snap, those would go off, and then we all just run out of here.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Okay, so I'm gonna get you all to give me a test, because this is gonna kind of continue on this way for a little bit. I'm gonna get you to give me an intrigue test.
So, because my passions have popped up, would I be able to honor passion this?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I failed, but it's not a 16, so. And hey, I failed my intrigue test as well.
I crit.
Okay, so we're gonna give Isforus a little bit, and then we're go to Varys from here. Okay, so as far as you're getting the sense that there's a couple of details as the proceedings, which kind of almost turns into more of an argument than it does like you know what I mean? It's devolving very quickly. You note that, someone inquires about the position of the spear, and it's further elaborated that it looked like a wound at the direct height, where if you were to spear uh, a mounted figure, there would be a wound coming from the ground up, like pointing upward, right at a diagonal. It seemed to have entered them at a slightly downward, right, which would suggest that both figures were mounted. You also kind of get the sense that Uther is arbitrary. He's got a problem with something. He wants a solution. He's already decided this is Sir Truffle. Sir Turfle.
Coolio.
I like Sir Truffle better.
Yeah, right? It's because I'm hungry. Then for Varys with the crit, you kind of get those points, but on top of that, you get the impression, like further on with your explanation from earlier, I think you just get the sense that Sir Uther is maybe a bit paranoid. Like some of what he's alluding to you stands out is kind of feeling like the walls are coming down around him, or like someone is undermining him.
Okay. Mechanically, what does a crit do, by the way, in this system? I don't get them very often, so.
Mechanically, for damage, it does double damage.
Okay.
When you attack.
So, like a skill check?
With a skill check, it will give you 12 glory, because you got a 12 in the skill.
Oh,
So
okay.
you get that right away, and then it's usually like a more successful outcome.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm gonna give you is this. Like again, both of you know that Sir Uther is trying to just close this out. Varys, you get a sense that's gonna happen very soon. He's just going to succeed here really quick. Like he's just gonna close this case very quickly, and just declare him guilty. You can just see it on his face.
All right.
It doesn't seem to be coming from a place of like trying to bury his own guilt in something. It seems to be
wants the problem resolved.
He wants the problem resolved. He wants a target to shoot at.
Yeah, okay.
Or to point at.
Question. Did we encounter the bandits that we encountered before? Where were they? They weren't in this county, were they?
No, they were in just outside of Lindenpool.
Right.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Nope.
Where were they?
Lindenpool's to the north.
Okay.
Do you recall where it was? You guys rode from Clarence to Gentian and Gentian to Rydychan.
Okay. And the bandits were...
Oh, the bandits from earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said I thought you were saying where did you meet these guys? Yes, you were correct. I'm terribly sorry. You guys were like up in Linden somewhere. So pretty far away. Pretty far away.
Okay. Then yeah, never mind.
And then there was the bandits we met just outside of Uther's court when we met Varys. But that was...
No, that happened. That was up in Lindenpool.
Yeah.
It was up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, because I was heading back up towards Malahaut.
I can't remember exactly, but it was somewhere up in this triangle region. I think you had chosen to take the main road, not Pendragon. So I think you're going through Lambor.
Yeah. Okay.
So I will leave you with like Varys because of the crit in his force, because you're getting a sense of the Baron's arbitrary nature, is there anything you want to do before he enacts justice?
Okay. I guess I want to bring up, what if this was an act of banditry and simple murder, then were his belongings taken? Was his armor taken? His horse? His weapons? Otherwise, this would seem like based on the information they've given us, this would seem like a duel, and except the winner did not want to come forward and declare their victory.
They add, I think Sergwithier adds, some of the belongings were in fact taken. His armor was left with him.
Okay.
Varys would sort of echo that sentiment, that it seemed like it was a duel or even an argument between two knights, more than chance that it was bandits, and that there's no real evidence to support that the present accused are the ones that did this, and that this seems to be a rather arbitrary accusation.
And that's and among the things that were taken, were there any personal or identifiable items? Because if so, then we could check all of our belongings, or all of the belongings of the accused.
I think Sergwithier just says, enough with the charade. We know that Sir Treffle is behind this.
No, you do not.
He stops and looks at you. And then he looks back to Sir Tearful and says, Sir Tearful, I declare you an enemy here in this castle. You have been tried, and you will be put to justice. And with that, Sir Tearful says, I demand a trial by combat. And Sergwithier sighs and says, very well then. Then I'll kill you myself. We'll meet on the morn, and we will settle this.
Cool. How good is this guy at fighting? That's what my intrigue's going to be doing for tonight. Is figuring out how decent this guy is.
Yeah. Why don't we do that first? Because now you're out of the court case. You guys can kind of meet up and chat with whoever you want now. They're under custody, but you can interact with the travelers that you're with if you'd like. You can interact with kind of anyone. So maybe we'll bring the three of you back together and see what you want to do, if you want to come up with a plan together or what you want to do here. Yeah.
I'm surprised that the household knight didn't call me out.
Well, it's just easier.
He didn't want the extra attention.
Probably not.
For its force to the others, he will simply say, this seems like we may lose one of our new men, but I would like to check around to talk to others to see how capable the Baron is in combat. Although I am sure that he is capable to some degree, it's hard to hold power without the ability to use a sword. So I will ask around to see if Sir Turfel can hold his own
I'll talk to Turfel himself and see what he's
And
bringing to the table, so to speak.
Are there? You've been in this land a while, Sir Varys, and you are familiar with how things usually go, Lady Gwen. Are there any substitutions during fights of this nature, or possible substitutions?
You mean having a champion?
Yes.
Perhaps in the defense of a lady's honor, such as that. Not sure in the case of a knight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lady Gwen will say, "It is possible, yes, for one to call upon a champion. To ask the knight to call on behalf of another knight who is not their vassal is questionable.
Mm-hmm.
It casts a light of shame."
Mm-hmm. So the Baron will definitely be present for this fight. He will not have someone else.
Well, he did already say he would do it himself.
People say things to
and then do other things.
Yes.
He could be posturing. He seems to be a paranoid old man.
Let's not besmirch our host. He is a cautious man.
As you say.
But I will head out to see how capable he is. I'm
going to see if I can find some evidence that will prove otherwise.
Prove who it was that actually did it.
Or prove that it wasn't the ones that are being accused.
Yeah.
I'd rather find the one that actually did it, justice and all. Whether I'm capable of such a thing remains to be seen.
Well, this forest is being reckless.
It's about a specific decision I'm going to make after my intrigue roll.
I might need to make one, but I'll see what Bob says here in a minute when I lay out what I want to do.
What are you waiting on, Drax? Sorry, were you waiting for me for something?
Yeah, I plan on trying to see if I can either see the armor of the fallen knight or speak with perhaps family members of the fallen knight. I don't know if that's possible given the situation.
Aaron?
Yeah, and then see if there was any sort of issues between him and the household knight that is seeing the blood on the spear and such.
Okay. Yeah, you can. I think that's gonna probably be intrigue, and then as far as you were going and you were seeing if the Baron was like a competent warrior. Is that what you were doing?
Yes.
Yeah. So you both can do intrigue, but before you do, I'm just gonna get Brunius. What are you gonna do with this time?
I was gonna go talk to Turfel. Basically, try to figure out if he's ready for something like this, and if not, try to get him ready as best I can.
Okay.
I've got experience training squires, so I might be able to help him out a little bit. You know, maybe.
Okay, so why don't we start with S first with your intrigue? Okay. So how are you approaching this? Are you asking around? You looking for like gossip and stuff, or?
Yes, general like he's our host. It's just like, oh, I'm sure there's no end to stories of his military accomplishments.
Okay. You find out he actually is a bit of a prominent war hero. That's what earned him the might makes right Baron position um, under Uther.
Mm-hmm.
So and Aurelius before him. So he is a high glory sort of follower of Aurelius and supporter of Uther, famous specifically for the invasion of Pendragon. He made a bit of a name for himself.
Okay, cool. Did he famously use any specific weapons?
He's predominantly known for the spear and the mace, and then he's pretty competent with a sword too. But he's also aging. He's an aging man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's so that role earlier that I was talking about, the reckless. He's gonna. His force is gonna be. He's not gonna like demand him or push him too hard, but he's gonna try to casually as he can. Be like, hey, Turful, if you're not feeling confident, feel free to tag me in for this fight. And it's less so to prove his innocence, and more so he's like, there's a slim chance that I could possibly fight somebody really good with a sword, and I'm really ready for that.
You're just eager to fight with a sword. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's go to Drax next. What about Cerberus here? Give me your intrigue roll, good sir. You did?
Okay. I did.
Perfect. Okay, and that was going and speaking to the family, right? Of Aaron?
Yeah, of Aaron. Yeah.
They show you the armor. They do explain that the wound was like on his neck, and you can see the blood was stained, so it kind of missed the armor, right? But there's a lot of blood from the neck area, like stained on the coif or whatever.
Okay. And Ferris would be as tactful as he can, trying to see if he could get them to speak on if there was any known issues with any of the knights, the household knights of the lords, the barons.
We'll say like it's his wife or something, right? Then we'll say so. His wife says, no, they all worked well together under the Baron. Everything was good here. I mean, the only person I can ever think of that he spoke poorly of was, well, the Baron's own nephew, but I mean, no one likes him around here.
Who's this nephew of the Barons?
Oh, no one of importance, really. Sir Arwell. He's a household knight in Rydychan. And then they say in Rydychan, they mean the actual location, not the county.
Right. Does that name ring a bell? Thing? I don't recognize the spelling, but it sounds familiar as a player.
You can make a recognized roll.
Okay. No. Okay.
Again, it sounds familiar. You can't really place why though.
Yeah. Varys wouldn't press too much further. He doesn't want to like upset them any more than they already are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he would beg his leave.
They thank you for they gave them a chance to remember him, right? So they thank you for that. And with that, we'll go to Bernius next.
Sir Terrafall, I believe you. I trust you. I know you have nothing to do with it. So are you ready for the fight to come?
One sec. He grunts, and you can see it on his face. He isn't. I don't understand why any of this is happening. I have to go out there tomorrow and face down a baron. If I'm successful, one of Uther's men dies, one of his lords. And if I'm not,
right.
It's my life, my end. For what? For some false accusation? I don't understand.
The problem with men like that is that they don't care about what's right. They care about what they can get. So, I am here with you. Ask of me what you will, and I will move heaven and earth to see that you get it. If you feel that you're not ready for this fight, tell me and I will step in.
I'm not afraid to die. I just wish this didn't have to happen to me.
Many men throughout history wish never to have had to do something that propelled them to greatness. I never wanted to fight a dragon or a worm or anything like that. That was as forest. But when the time came, when the task was before me, I had no choice. It was either die or step up. I chose to step up. When I was asked to come down and speak to Uther about bringing soldiers back with us to Malahaut, I should never have been asked that. You've heard me in there. You've heard me speak. I am not a diplomat. I am not eloquent. I am not that guy. But duty and honor requires us to move forward. I am terrified of dying. And that's why I fight as hard as I do. Because I don't want to die. If you don't have a desire to live, if you don't have that drive, that fear of death, I guarantee the Baron is afraid of dying. Terrified of it. So he's going to fight tooth and nail. If there is anything I can give you, then I hope that it is this. Have a reason to live. Find a fear of death that will drive you to secure your own life, no matter what it costs.
You're gonna have to give me an orate roll for that, good sir.
Okay. I recruited him. Can I test my hospitality?
Sure.
Okay. Crap. I am not passionate today.
No.
And this is gonna.
Oh.
So close. But no, I failed.
The sting of knowing that past hospitality would have passed your orate too.
Yeah.
Okay, I think he's a bit melancholic tonight, and he just says, "Then leave me in peace."
As you wish.
All right.
And I kind of want to go seek out Lady Gwen right quick.
Okay. I just want to test something. Yep. All right. You find her.
Lady Gwen, may I ask you a question?
Of course.
How badly have I messed things up here?
Are you blaming yourself for this?
To a point.
To what point? To what end?
I told Turfel that we would stand by him, that I would stand by him. And I've done everything I can to try to convince Uther that this isn't right. And now I'm a young man who is not ready for the fight that lies before him, is spending his last night here alone. And all I can think is that if I'd have been more cunning, if I'd have been better, more articulate, more... If I wasn't just a fighter, that I could have done more to help him.
I think you take too much responsibility for others, friend. The only thing I see that could have been done, well, there's just not enough time, really. Something is wrong with the Baron. For him to fight for his household knight. He must really care for him. I don't know what precisely happened here, but I know a courtly intrigue when I see one. There's more to the story. It's only a shame that it'll be resolved tomorrow, with no means of finding out the truth of it.
I desperately want there to be justice for this, for the truth to come out. But I don't know how to go about getting that. I suppose that's another failure to learn from. Another avenue of my training that I just have to work towards.
This whole thing reeks of something foul. Just wish I could better understand it.
As do I. And Brunius will smile, give a bow. Thank you for your time, Lady Gwen.
You as well, Sir Brunius.
Have
I'll
a
see
good
you on
evening.
the morrow.
Yes. Yes, you will.
Alright, do you guys want to connect again, or do you want me to move forward the day?
I'm fine moving forward.
Yeah,
I'm fine moving forward.
Okay. So the next morning in the castle square, the knights prepare to make war.
I'm down with Turfel.
Yeah, his force is present as well. Still hoping for that small chance that he'll get tagged in.
Does Turfel have his own squire?
No. It's a mercenary knight, can't afford it. Can't afford to house him and keep him himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then if he's amenable to it, I will be his second. And will assist him as his squire. At this point, it's all I can do. Unless he wants one of us to step in for him. I can at least help him.
I'm sorry, friends, but I don't think he would. I mean, I'll roll. You never know. No, he's valorous enough.
Yeah.
One sec.
But like I said, I was with him. I shall watch his back. So. Man. I'm almost on par with his sword.
I'm not.
And his forest is just he would lead a master class in the sword against this guy.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
there we go.
He's aging, so you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily fair. And also, he might feel honor bound with his duel because of his love of his friend that passed away. We're assuming his friend. Or he just doesn't trust anybody else to do the deed.
Maybe he doesn't trust anybody else to do the deed.
Oh, also, side note, out of character, while things are being prepared, if is this just till somebody loses or till death? Because if he
because of the accusation, it's to the death.
Okay, so if he kills the Baron, he's okay, right? Nobody's gonna be come stab him right after, or Uther's not gonna come after him, is he?
It's a sketchy scenario, to be honest. I mean, technically, it comes down to the witnesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you all an intrigue.
Okay, yeah, I'm do that.
All right.
Because we might, if our guy happens to win, we might need to make a hot exit.
Would it be possible to try to speak with the Baron and try to, at last moment, kind of sway him since he's so paranoid and arbitrary about things?
Yeah, you could try, absolutely. While he's putting on his armor and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so Varys would approach and wait until he's addressed first. Proper etiquette and all.
Yeah. So, Knight?
Lord Baron? I ask you to reconsider. Either way, Uther loses. Whichever way this goes. Or even king of my homeland. We need all the forces we can get.
But if I eradicate a bandit, then who truly loses? No one.
I understand that you're set on him being a bandit. However, after speaking with Sir Aaron's family, I'm not so sure. There's the possibility that it was another night.
What leads
Where was the wound?
It was high near his neck.
Yeah. Spoke with the family. The only person that they knew was a Sir Arwell, household knight.
What about him?
In Rydychan. Apparently, he was spoken poorly of by those that knew him in regards to Sir Aaron. So there's likely some personal vendetta there, or the possibility at least.
I'll give you can make the same intrigue test. I think this will count for S versus too, but you can make an intrigue test as well. There's something very pertinent here.
Alright.
As far as fair enough to say you probably were close enough to have heard that conversation.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So the two of you see when he mentions that name to the Baron just gives a look of utter disgust.
Sir Varys obviously doesn't know because he heard of the name but doesn't recognize it.
No, but you recognize his response. I think.
Right.
Who passed the recognize roll earlier?
I did.
Yeah.
That's right.
I haven't done a recognize roll at all, so.
Oh, you know what? We'll do an awareness test. Yeah, you were away. You were AFK or something when that happened. You can test recognize now as Forrest and Brunus. You can test awareness.
All right.
Yep. Don't recognize me.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I am busy trying to make sure my guy is good to go.
Yeah. Yep.
Ferris is actually trying to look for a non-violent solution here. Is what he's trying to do. Trying to see if there's a way that he can perhaps get away with a banishment from the territory for the man instead of an execution. Appealing to his to the Baron's mercifulness, I suppose.
I think you're gonna need either an orate or a courtesy roll to
I will
convince
totally take courtesy if you let me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a -1 on it because Sir Gwythier's. You know what I'm gonna do? You're just gonna have to test it against his vengeful.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I get the vengeful thing. Varys is a very vengeful man himself. Ah, fail. Fail worse, Bob.
No.
No.
Not worse, not better. He just says, I think it's too late for that. If I were to back out now, everyone would think me a coward.
Varys nods. He understands.
But that name, though. Who spoke of Arwell?
It was Sir Aaron's wife mentioned that they
And
had
she
issues.
said what exactly?
That he was spoken poorly about. That's simply it. It's the only one that they seem to know of that was they had any personal issues with.
Yes. My nephew. Entitled little prick that he is. Anyways. Sir Knight, I should return.
Yes, back to the business of the day. And Varys would take his leave. Kind of looks at his other two traveling companions and just kind of offers them a kind of like non-committal type look as he walks away.
Yep.
Just so I can just watch what's going to happen.
Basically.
Okay. I think because this is just 2 NPCs, I think it might just come down to a single roll. Is that fair?
Sure.
Yeah. No other. I want to make sure no one else has anything they want to do prior.
No. Not unless somebody was like, "Hey, I want to tag you in." Then yeah, that's it.
I tested that for Turfel, but he passes. He passes Valorous.
Right.
I guess the only other question is,
to knock him out and wear his armor and go in there into his.
He doesn't even have the best armor.
Yeah.
Are they gonna impassion either side, or are they just gonna straight roll?
They're gonna try, yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Good luck, combatants.
I guess only the good news is that oh wait, he has a lot of glory. He might have a really good bonus if he succeeds. Because it's like because it's like 19, so he has
plus 10.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. So it'd be plus his 20, but his rolls are plus 5.
Oh,
cool.
Oh,
boy.
Look at that.
Oh, he has 21. Oh, so he has a plus 10 too. So he's a plus 7.
His exploding.
Wait, no, not plus 7.
His exploding dice went off on that. I gave him 14 plus 1d2 open-ended dice. Went off 3 times in a row. So
nice.
So
he
has +7 and +5.
+7.
Yeah, because he has a 17 in sword, right? And so he only needs 3, and he gets a +10 because his thing is so high.
Yeah. Yep.
So
with your sword is 1d20 plus
5.
5.
Yeah.
And
then Turfle is +. Really lucky on our boy here.
Yep.
I'd like to say that we did our best to try to dissuade this combat, but
we did. We just failed a bunch.
Yeah.
Now that is life. Oh.
Turfle wins the duel.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see the first sword stroke. Okay, yeah, that too is unfortunate.
All right. It's a close one at first. There's a lot of passion, and then Turfle sends Gwithyr reeling a bit from a solid hit, and Sir Gwithyr ends up on the ground. Sir Turfle demands that he yield, which is really not something one can do in a duel to the death. Gwithyr grunts and begins to climb back to his feet, and Sir Turfle cuts him down.
As far as respects the fact that he at least tried.
He offered offered mercy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And with that...
Oh. I do check to see who's happy about Gwithyr's death.
Okay, that'll be an intrigue to, I think, notice. And yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. You see Gwithyr's household knight, Sir Emir, run over to him right away. But you can see through the act.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate that these things happen, and this isn't our home country.
Yep. I am taking care of Terfel. Making sure that, any wounds that he suffered are being patched up, making sure his sword gets cleaned up. I am acting as his second, as his squire, and taking care of him after the fight.
Varys is moving towards the fallen Baron.
Okay.
If for no other reason than to, be a little bit, trying to think of the word for it. Supportive, I guess, for his house, I guess, Yeah.
Okay.
It's a loss either way. There was no real winner out of that.
Right. So what do you want to do when you get there?
Just help tend to him if he's allowed to.
Yeah.
Make sure he's not overly, messed up.
Right. Okay. All right. Things are looked after for the day.
Yep.
News about Sir Gwithyr's death will be sent to King Uther.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
I do order like our guys to like we're no niceties here while we're here. Everybody just be prepared. Minimal. Basically, we eat, we have our stuff ready, and we're trying to get out of here as soon as possible. And just to be aware of things in case after a night's rest, some people are more upset about this than they were yet the day before.
The Baron fell. I'm gonna stick close to Lady Gwen.
Okay.
Make sure she's not accosted for any reason.
Okay. I will give you this. The household, the whole place is like a bit in shock right after the events of the day. Like, it happened so quick. Most of the common folk that are here had no idea that there was going to be a duel until the morning of, and then came out and watched their baron die. With that in mind, the perfect time to leave gracefully would be in the middle of their shock, if you wanted to.
Yeah, we're gonna skedaddle.
Do that.
Okay.
Also asking the priest to write a letter, like send it out to basically, because he was a Baron of Uther's. Would it if it's okay to send like a letter towards like Uther's estate or whatever, whoever handles these things, to be like, hey, we were witnesses to this duel. It was a fair fight, and the Baron lost. He put up a good fight, but he lost. Just so multiple note, at least we have our version of events out there.
Yeah.
So they can't just write whatever they want and be like, oh yeah, some bandits came through and murdered our great Baron.
Right.
No.
All right, perfect. I think with that is the only like travel event that you guys rolled up. So I think the rest of the time is going to be fairly uneventful. You're going to ride through the rest of the road, up through Tribuit, into Lambor, and then into Linden. I think we'll get one more orate test from you, Brunius, just because you're doing the recruiting still, right?
Yeah. And because my recruiting has always been hate Saxons, come kill Saxons, I'm gonna try to impassion myself with.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Man, that luck on the.
His luck is horrible on his
passions.
tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going into melancholy over it, but wait, is that a melancholy? Yeah, for that one it is.
Yep.
It's too high, right?
Because it's a 16.
How many days does that go for?
Let's find out.
Hopefully just a week.
8 days.
8 days.
Okay.
Yeah, a week. A little over a week.
All right. So you'll be taking your orate minus that amount.
So he just auto-fill then?
And unless someone wants to try and pull him out of melancholy.
We roll.
You saw how bad it went.
We roll our trait versus his trait, right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Can we get him without armor or a weapon in a room?
Yeah, I think you could arrange that. I think you could.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're basically, you walk in weaponless and armorless.
It's an intervention.
It's an intervention. It's like you need to pick up your spirits. You know that we can. Just don't think you're too much in your head about the things. You need to just go with it. Just do what you think is right. Say what you feel in your heart. Don't think about it. Just do it. And I guess that's reckless. I'm trying to get him to be reckless.
You gotta You're facing my hate Saxons -5 versus your reckless.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
No, I failed.
Yeah, you're
and
pulled
you
out of
succeeded.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you are pulled out of your funk in the next day. You feel in better spirits. You could chalk up the melancholy to just being so uninspired by the duel of death you just witnessed. No, it doesn't. But it doesn't fumble, so that's good.
No.
You managed to get a few more stragglers along the way. You have a small retinue now of knights.
Nobody of note.
Nobody of note. Most of them.
We do have Turfel. Turfel's enough.
Apparently has a sword 17. You just determined.
He's just not had very great estate management.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He doesn't have an estate to manage.
That's why.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do one last scene. So you reach Linen Pool. Lady Gwen turns to you all, says, I guess this is everything. I wanted to say that this was a very eventful trip, and it was nice to meet all of you.
You as well, Lady Gwen. I apologize there was so much bloodshed.
Hardly you're doing in this case. I've met much more menacing knights. All of you keep your honor well guarded.
We can but try.
Thank you, Lady Gwen.
It's
been a pleasure traveling with you.
So, I'm gonna try a flirting roll.
Okay. Flirting
Maybe
or
not
romance?
Flirting, romance.
Okay.
Trying to say something nice and romantic, like something like that.
Okay.
Hey,
Man.
I didn't fumble, but
Yeah.
I am really bad at this.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm really bad at everything. So
yeah, it's probably one of those things where like you try, but like the joke doesn't, like she doesn't really get what you're trying to say, then you just kind of bail out of your own attempt. So she doesn't even, like, she's not offended by it or bothered by it as much as just not even
doesn't know it happened.
Yeah, not even aware it took place.
Sounds about right.
All right. I want to do one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Anyone have anything they wanted to say to Gwen before we close?
No. Unfortunately, she's not a good Roman girl, so I can't engage in that.
Right.
Varys said his piece already.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something interesting here. I'm gonna give you some outcomes that you'll hear. You won't hear this until the next year in 490, which, we've still got a bit of, like, I want to actually do you guys returning. We'll probably do the next time we play. You'll return to Malahaut. You'll have that role play, and then we'll be going into a little bit more that's happening in the year, and then we'll probably end with like the transition to 490 at some point. So, which will be the final year of play.
Remember, we also needed to try to convince her cousin to ride north with us.
Yes, that's true. So we'll start with the Duke of Lindenpool next session. But before we close, I'm gonna give you some outcome to tribute. So the Baron. Let me just make sure I got the place right. Sorry, I just lost track of something. Baron of Oxenford. That's what I was trying to remember the name of. It was Oxenford. So you find out that within the year, a new Baron is named. Probably because you poke into it later to find out.
Yeah.
Sir Arwell is named.
The
nephew is named Baron.
And that was what city or
Rydychan.
Rydychan.
The city of Rydychan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Castle town of Rydychan. Basically, the stop you made just before Oxentown. All right. I wanted to give you more of that. Usually I do mysteries pretty well. I don't love how the dice screwed you guys on every attempt to like give you another path on.
Yeah, because I was there on that. I suspected, but just my character wasn't catching it.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys are playing your characters true. It was more like the characters had no reason to jump on those things, but it was good.
It was fun.
I will explain the behind the scenes because it's very unlikely to ever come up again for the characters. So, Sir Arwell was actively trying to undermine his uncle because he was heir. He's next in line from the family, which doesn't mean he's going to automatically inherit a baronry though, but gives him a good claim to it, right? So he had actively been poisoning members of Sir Gwithir's own knights into his employ. He did in fact hire and treat with basically he expected Sir Turfel to call for the duel to the death and wagered that it would work in his favor. And oddly enough, even with the dice rolls in front of us, literally even rolling up their skills, it did. It worked out for him. So mastermind plot to some random NPC, I guess. But he it was in fact the other household knight who had been poisoned, and it was the other household knight who murdered Sir Aaron. So you guys were on the right track.
I mean, instinct-wise, when I called him out saying that he murdered the knight,
Yeah, you're on the right page.
Yeah,
I think Drax even said, I think he said he never did mention anything. Drax he didn't want to draw attention to himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what Varys would have did if he had to do anything shady.
It's like whistling off in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his first was basically I understand what's going on here. Please just pick someone else because we have stuff we have to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I was hoping to antagonize the other knight to get him to challenge me.
You were close. You were really close. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
the attention got diverted.
Stuff, we totally discussed that, all that stuff.
You guys didn't do a poor job. It was literally just the connections. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The dice hated us.
Yeah. Which happens in Pendragon. It's my first attempt to do a mystery in Pendragon. I have some thoughts about how I would do it better next time. This was just supposed to be an on the road quester event, anyways. So
it was good. I liked it.
So cool. All right, guys. Good stuff, and we're on for next week. Anyone got any reasons that they're aware of at this point why they can't make next week?
Nope.
Nothing on my schedule as of now.
Great. Okay. Well,
we're hoping I get that Oregon job. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm. Well, as always, thanks for running, Bob.
Yeah.
Thanks for guys.
Yeah. Good luck with that job. I hope it works out for you.
I need all the luck I can get.
Are you? Is it like something that you are looking for? One sec.